Hello everyone. So I never really thought of myself as anything in particular. I used to make like 5-minute videos because I didn't think anyone would watch more than 5 minutes of me yelling about things. Doing like a Q&A never like crossed my mind as something that people would be interested in. But I recently hit 4K and I'm coming up to my 2nd anniversary of doing stardom content on this channel. So I thought, let me just toss a line out there and see if anybody was interested. So I got like over 40, close to 50 questions, so like that's cool. I didn't think I would even get 10, so we'll go ahead and just go through a bunch of these as much as possible until I get tired. So Dr. Enzik, any more Meerkat merch in the works? Oh, well, merch, really? No, honestly, I put this first because like I didn't actually think people would want merch. Just like, why who would want any merch from me? I don't consider myself that much of like a content creator in that regard, but if anyone's interested in Meerkat merch, let me know in the comments. First things first though is I gotta change up the Meerkat, and I'll be looking to hire someone to like design me a Meerkat sometime in the future, so we'll work on that first. So first steps first. At Martyr Show, what year is it? Oh, Martin understood the assignment, folks.
What year is this?
I always remember Charlene Yee's like random cameo in that. She goes all like, any music you've been bumping? Yeah, lately I've been going through Prince's work because I didn't grow up listening to Prince, so like we were like Michael Jackson household. So other than Purple Rain, I hadn't heard any of his like other works, What are your 5 favorite finishing moves in Stardom? Oh, great question, because now I don't have to make a video on that. All right, here we go. I'm gonna cheat a little bit though. It's not gonna be exact finishing moves because Stardom is great at having multiple ways to end a match. Momoko goes Tiger Feint DDT thingy. She goes like wee, the little 619 thingy. Yeah. Number 4, I really like Megasys F5. I think it's a devastating maneuver for her to do. She's colossal, she's big, and it's great to see. I want to see more of it. Number 3, Maya Iwatani's super kick, in my opinion, is the best super kick in the business. Number 2, of course I like Saki Kashima's Kishi Kaisei, Saki Kashima, but also I love the idea of this like coward lower tier wrestler who isn't that strong, but also possesses the most powerful, devastating pin that can defeat gods. It's such a cool character quirk that you don't see often in wrestling, or like at all in wrestling. It's just like, imagine like an anime character who's weak but has one move that's super powerful, like Digimon, like that little tiny thing, I don't remember, like Patamon or whatever it is, and then it turns into like this huge angel that had like the most powerful freaking Digimon. I don't remember, I don't watch Digimon past season 1. And number 1, the reason why I'm cheating basically is because it's also my favorite move in wrestling, the Poison Mist. I love Mist. I think they're so cool. I love the idea that the different colors have like different status effects. It's like an RPG, We got the green one that's poison, the red one that's like burning, the yellow one stuns, the blue one puts them to sleep, the black one is just devastating, I love Mist. A little early, but do you have goals for 2024? Yes, I want to keep making quality content, of course, but like a little different, like evolve it a bit, I want to finish my documentary too, about my time in the David Lynch University and the meditation and the school and the program and the town. It's such an interesting story that a very big important part of my life that I really want to like talk about it. I want to visit Japan next year. That's a big goal of mine. I really want to like somehow like find a way to visit Japan next year. I want to see Choco Pro wrestling in person. I need to see the Ichigaya Chuck Square in person. Like I want to see other shows and eat a lot of food as well, but that's the big thing. I need to see Choco Pro in person. It's like a major goal of mine next year, and I hope I can make it happen. Aaron Zacharias, what is your story/history on your connection to pro wrestling? Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3, Thunder Lips. That was my introduction to pro wrestling. I later watched like a Royal Rumble, and like I saw all the players and a legion of new wrestlers. Like Shawn Michaels, for example, was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up as a child. But like many in my generation, I didn't get into wrestling until the Attitude Era. But it wasn't because of like Stone Cold or the Rock or Triple H or anything like that. It was because of the Hardy Boys. Jeff Hardy really sucked me in. Mankind, I really liked him. But yeah, Hulk Hogan as Thunder Lips in Rocky 3 was my first introduction to what a professional wrestler was.
You better call Bob Hope.
Kavatari D. Hey, Mr. Meerkat. I don't remember. What is something you think everyone who loves wrestling should know about film, and something that everyone who loves film should know about wrestling? Well, they're under the same format of performance art, you know, except one has the luxury of an editor, cinematography, written scripts, many takes, art direction, a director, you know, many years of training to do film work, while pro wrestlers have to do it all in one single take, you know, while remembering the spots and where the hard camera is, and also not even training to do that. They train to bump, not act. I've seen wrestlers act better than some professional actors, you know. At Paul Darren Pickle Summer, what promotion do you think has the best production and how important is it? It's not important at all. Otherwise, you know, Choco Pro Wrestling wouldn't be like my favorite promotion in the world, but it is. So, as who has the best, you know, all time, Lucha Underground. From like production, editing, post-production, show. The only thing that they did weird was the goofy sound effects with the constant at Kevin. Oh, Kevin. If you were given an unlimited budget to produce a biopic on any wrestler, who would you pick? Well, I actually don't like biopics that much. I did write a response, and it was the first thing that came to my head, so I'm just going to read it. The entire story of Choco Pro Wrestling told through the eyes of a small, thin woman who you would never have thought would be a wrestler ever, or doing any physical activity, or like doing anything like steps. She's a writer, you know, she uses a pencil, you know, she who decides to give pro wrestling a shot because of a free session offered by Emi Sakura's The Real Project, with the mission that pro wrestling is for anyone, for any ages, any gender, anyone can do it, and enters a simple little career that fully captures the spirit of this company, this promotion, in both the ring and behind the scenes. A little mix of reality and magical realism, a wholesome movie that utilizes the absurdity of the things that I like through the pandemic and fighting a British bastard who's like 6'8", tall bastard, Lulu Pencil. Odd choice, right? Yeah, but it's about picking the perfect main character that any audience member can follow, you know, through a journey on something that is both interesting and dramatic. And there's no better protagonist, in my opinion, than Lulu Pencil. Randy Wilson, what do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, hopefully I'm making either my first film, or I'm on my path to make the second, but hopefully for sure I'm on my way making my first film. At No More Creative, who's a wrestler from any of the promotions you've covered that you wish you could talk more about? Unagi Sayaka, 100%. I love Unagi, I love what she's doing, but to even begin to cover her adventure, the things that she's doing would be like, it's gathering that footage just gives me a headache thinking about it. That's like, what got you into Joshi Wrestling? I got a lot of this question in various forms, so I'll just answer it all under this umbrella. Kana was the first Joshi that I was aware of, and I watched her in Shimmer against like Sarah Del Rey. Very classic. Oh, Sarah. I didn't know what a Joshi was though at the time until like I watched Manami Toyota versus Aja Kong and all those other classic and all the jazz and stuff like that. Even then though, I wouldn't say I got into Joshi until very recently, until I started like going to Stardom 100%, you know. So even then, I could 100% respect the history of Joshi far more than what I actually currently do. So I should be going deeper. At 19 CT, which unit would you add Suzu Suzuki to? Dondo Mondo, Team of Julia, Start Friction with Tekla, but that's the obvious answer. In my opinion, the funner answer, the more unique option would be like to leave her as a lone wolf, you know, just that little balloon goblin tags along with her every now and then, you know, but just have her be like this crazy girl who don't need anyone and just like walks alone. She's John Moxley, she don't need nobody. What's your preferred snack when watching wrestling? That varies, John. Candy, I guess. It's not a thing that I do, I would say. Ray T, your thoughts on potential Stardom TJPW show in 2024. You know, if it happens, great, you know, but I'm not going to be holding on hope that it's going to happen. I'm not going to be booking or thinking of anything crazy that I would like to see. If it gets announced, great. Love to see it. But Saki Kashima versus God Raku, obviously. At Anti-M Bishop, who hacked the system. Good job, dude. You get 2 questions. What was the most emotional moment of the year? Saki Akai's retirement, Himeka's retirement, Queen's Quest in the Cage, or Yuka Sakazaki's send-off? Yuka Sakazaki's send-off, I would say. A lot of them are crying, and it's recency bias, I would say. So it definitely worked. At Harry Cornflake, favorite David Lynch movie and why? Awesome question. It's not a generic question. I love Lynch, you know. I never get to talk about him that much. He's a wholesome guy, you know. He loves to be like, he's one of those type of Midwestern, like, wholesome guys who goes like, well, guy jolly, or like, dang nubbit, or like, he loves his coffee and he loves donuts and he seemingly just likes to answer questions, you know. He doesn't really have any other function beyond that. Definitely not teaching, you know. But nice guy. Mulholland Drive is my favorite from him, though, and it's like you said, you can't really explain why. It's definitely his most accessible one, and I think it's because I find it to be like his vision of the Hollywood experience. Like, it's also the way it's structured as well. Shout out though to Twin Peaks episode 8. I think it's 8. The all black and white episode 1. You know, that's the best single episode in television history, bar none. When you started saying Minishibakawas, boobas, I don't know. I mean, I started in that one video, you know, and then it just followed me, and it keeps following me in a lot of ways. I didn't predict that would ever happen, you know, so it's fine. I guess it doesn't bother me, I guess, but please don't ever scream that at her in real life. I shouldn't have to say that. At Rem the Balloon, who's your wrestler you haven't talked about much on the channel but want to in the future? Balinaki. I want to do a full video on him, but I just been overthinking it, and I need to stop overthinking it. AJ Lee is another one, but WWE is just a pain to do videos on, but she's legit one of my top 5 women of all time, you know, so we'll see. Also the Ninja Mari from AWG, because she's like super cool, you know, and also like I got like a big old crush on her. She's 38. What? She's 38. She's 38. At Jason Salisbury, would you do a video on wrestling as an art with Hyper Misao's hype show? Not the hype show, but just Hyper Misao in general. I plan on making a full one on her, but it's very daunting because she's had like a lengthy career and a lot of moments, you know, but it'd just be about absurdity in wrestling. Will probably bring up Camille a lot. I don't know. Sukiban is fun as hell. I love the aesthetic, and I hope they film in Inyo alleyway like it's like a Street Fighter. I think the concept is fun. You know, I want to like the fashion more. It's just not there yet. You know, I think it's like a timing issue. The women need like more time for the fittings, more time to get used to it, more time in the chair, and just be comfortable. You can tell they're not comfortable yet. But I want to see like a full episode of what they have planned, the anime, all that stuff, the storylines, the lore. Otherwise, it's just kind of like wrestling to watch that's fun on Twitch, and that's cool and all that. The main criticism I see, I don't agree with, but I understand, you know, people see it and they see how hard the wrestlers are going, and they have Suri, Soriano, and then they just want like standard Joshi high quality wrestling for Americans to see. But that's not Sukiban. You're asking Sukiban to be something they're not. It's run by fashion designers. It's an arty wrestling show. That's just what they are, and they wear their identity with pride. So more power to them. I don't think they should change anything. They just like really just work on what they have and make it better. Plus, we haven't seen a full show yet. So, but also, if you want serious American Joshi, it exists with Katsune and Spark Wrestling. You know, I haven't seen much of the shows, you know, but I think it's because it was on Twitch, and Twitch is free to watch. So you're on Twitch, and people are seeing Joshi maybe for the first time, and this is what they're seeing, you know, and you probably wanted it to be American Joshi wrestling. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the take, you know.
And it's sort of comical how you think that you've made a choice that exempts you from the fashion industry when in fact you're wearing a sweater that was selected for you by the people in this room from a pile of stuff.
Things you want to see from American Joshi in 2024. I want to see it. I haven't seen Katsune or Spark yet, so we'll get to that, but I think their roster's great. And Sukiban, yeah, again, I just want to see a full episode of what they have in mind. And also who's in charge. I have yet to see who's in charge of the show. Like who's providing the money. I'm curious about that. At Christian versus 1997, you have a problem in 1997? That's when Blade came out. That's when movies changed, you know. It's 2 years before The Matrix, and movies started to change around this time because of movies like The Fifth Element and Blade. Like, all my people watching here born like out after 1997, like you don't know. You have no idea. Movies changed. You have Jurassic Park, and then you have Blade, 2 different blockbusters. Movies changed. Okay, anyways, sorry. Tell us more about your film background, favorite actors and actresses. Well, Star Wars got me into storytelling. And then Robert Rodriguez convinced me that a Mexican could become a film director, you know? And then David Lynch's Masters of Film program is sort of my education, I guess, you know? My film education. I'm hoping to make my first feature film about pro wrestling sometime in the future. I need to make this film. It's my biggest goal at the moment, my mountain I'm trying to build. My favorite actor, though, is Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis, he's the GOAT. An actress is probably like Tilda Swinton and Sakura Ando. Sakura Ando was recently in Godzilla Minus One, which is a movie that made me cry. It's the best kaiju movie ever made, and she has like a bit part and slays it, you know. But she's also like this amazing actress in like Love Exposure, 100 Yen Love, and also Shoplifters. And if you ever feel like crying for a movie that's really, really good and not a monster movie, you watch Shoplifters. My God. But Daniel Day-Lewis is also not working anymore, so a current actor would be Tom Hardy. Even though my bestie ruined him by pointing out that he is just always doing the same things. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you for that. At Andy Obi. Oh, the Julia WWE question. 1 second. I'm going to refer to my previous video that I tried filming this already, so I'm going to refer to this video here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rumors are spreading that Julia has not yet signed an extension to her contract with Stardom, and that WWE might be interested in having her on board, which would be phenomenal. She has beauty, the great wrestling abilities, and a personality that will captivate audiences, and I'm interested to know your thoughts on the situation. Rumors are true, plus which I'd love to hear your answer. So I hate to break this to you, man. I really do, but I don't watch WWE. I don't like WWE. I think they're Disney. And I actually have kind of a big disdain for them. I try to keep it down low. It comes out sometimes because I don't want to ruin anyone who does like it. You know, if you like it, go for it, buddy. More power to you. I just can't do it anymore. So I just don't watch that company ever. I don't support them. I don't even look at their socials, anything to give them engagement. I just don't do it. It's a full-on ban at this point. So if Julia were to go, in my mind, by Julia, but Julia's very talented. If she were to go to WWE, I think she could be a star. At George Vandy Griff, what is the greatest comedy match in Stardom history? That is impossible to tell. I would have to like dive back into pre-Bushy Road stuff and see what's there. I really like the Jenkin Pro Halloween stuff. That stuff is fun. You know, anytime they can just have fun and be stupid, you know, all of them are great. It's really hard to say. It's hard to single out one though. At Adrian CO421. Who are the TJPW Joshi Shusuke pushes in 2024? I wish I was more familiar with TJPW to answer this question accurately, you know, but just from what I see, I would say Wakana, because I love her spirit, her attitude, and her heart, and I just want to see her happy. Yuki Arai is a pretty obvious question, I think. I think she has all the tools, and she impresses me a lot, and she's got a great smile. I think Kamayu, even though she's been there a while, I think she should be featured more. Her English is impeccable. She's tall, and she's very, very gorgeous, and she's very good. I think she should be featured more. At Plastic T, what is your favorite color? Well, different shades of this type of yellow here I like. Tier list of soft drinks for Joshi Wrestling. Well, I only drink sparkly water, so I'm boring. Lately, I've been drinking this little bubbler thing. It's like an energy drink, sparkly water with like stevia, and it tastes like a monster, but not poison. Dream for a Joshi crossover event. I'll just name some random matches and not a card, alright? Mayu versus Chiyoko Shikawa versus Palm Harajuku is a match I need. Max Impala versus Megasis versus Big Hash versus you for like a big kaiju match, and then a serious match, a super serious match, a zoo match featuring the TJPW women and a combo of stars and a Widow tie. Oh, Starlight Kid versus Mei Suruga in Choco Pro Wrestling. Forget all the other stuff. That's the answer. At James, do you think Unimon is booked too weekly in Stardom? Yes. She's a part of the lower tier, so that's gonna happen. At Draznix, would you ever work for a wrestling promotion? Yes, in a heartbeat. Doing the video, official recap, social media, etc. Oh, well, maybe not all that. I used to film wrestling, but I don't have the equipment to do that anymore, really. Commentary is hard, but it is something that, you know, I would like to maybe try to get better at. And then like official recaps and stuff, you know, I can read a script and do voiceover. Doing voiceover work will be something that maybe I want to try to get into more. I just need like a little bit better equipment. But it wouldn't be Meerkat as you get him on here, though. You know, it'd be professional Meerkat, which is not out of the question for me, really. I'm looking to try to grow the brand more next year, so I'm open, always. At Pop Metal J, given your interest and knowledge in Japanese wrestling promotions, would you seek an interview with someone in that field? Technically seems like very good value. Yes, if I can pay them. I thought about like a Meercast, you know, but it's like not like a podcast. I'm not gonna do podcasting. I'm not gonna be a podcaster, guys. Or but maybe interviews and like other stuff. I don't know. But I want to start with the greater area around my state first, you know, pay some wrestlers and see how that goes, see how comfortable I am with doing it. But Tekla would be a great choice one day for like an international star, you know. At Brett Styles wrote a really long question here. I'm not going to read it right here because it's long, but it's basically, I do star ratings. I don't really do star ratings. I use 5-star match like as a dramatic point in like videos, like Queen's Quest cage match was a 5-star match, stuff like that. You know, it's YouTube. You know, I have to do that. Otherwise, I don't use star ratings at all. I don't care at all about ratings. I don't think they do anything at all. You know, I'd rather you share me a gif of the moment than tell me that's a 4-star match. That tells me nothing about the match. I want to do a video on like how to get your friend into wrestling thing, but it's like broad as fuck, and it's about how approaching new people with wrestling isn't always like, here's a 5-star match, you know? Here's my favorite match ever. It should be about what you know of your friend. Like if my high school theater kid friends wanted to get into wrestling, I know exactly what to show them, and it would not be a star rated match. It'd be Choke Bro. At L Bibs, what's been the best thing you discovered in making videos about Stardom and other promotions? That's a great question, because in a lot of ways my channel has been like a document of sorts about my journey through some of these Joshi companies and a lot of the wrestlers too. All of TJPW, for example. I watch more Joshi wrestling to the point where I don't watch wrestling as much anymore because the quality is just not the same, you know? But like watching someone like Lady C and Mai Sakurai and knowing their character pretty well, is that something I would have done before, you know? You can actually find the exact moment on my channel that Saki Kashima became the main character, you know, that she deserves to be. You know, that's been the best thing. At Giro Video Stream, Gaio Video Stream, he wrote in Japanese, so I'm gonna have to put on my Babelfish from like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy here. 1 second.
The Babelfish is small, yellow, leech-like, and probably the oddest thing in the universe.
Would you like to translate your posts and videos into Japanese to increase your fan base? I don't consider myself having a fan base just yet, you know, just viewers of my work who like it. Well, I also don't have funds to produce something like that just yet, and I wouldn't ask anyone to do it for free. But if I did have the funds, yeah, sure, absolutely would love to expand it, but we'll see. At Rookie Knows, how do you express yourself so brilliantly? How do you express yourself so brilliantly? I have the luxury of editing and script, you know, that's just what it is. You know, everyday life in front of people, these meatbags, breathing bodies, blood, consciousness, eyes, stuff like that, thoughts going on in their head. You know, I don't talk or express myself brilliantly at all. You know, I'm like an NPC. I'm just quiet walking around. But even then with the channel, I hide behind a Meerkat mask, and the Meerkat can take over and just be like this loud, you know, like talking, unhinged, confident, like exaggeration of myself, really. At Foxcat. Oh, Foxcat. Anime recommendations. I'll put this up here. You know, I've seen none of these. You know, my anime watch list is so long and very unforgiving. It's like my book list that I need to read. It's just, what's the name? Meerkat Ultra. Just a coincidence to MK Ultra, or is there a deeper meaning? Both. Meerkat is my spirit animal from high school. You know, because when I used to even now when I turn to next lane, I move like a meerkat. So it's like my spirit animal. And Ultra because of MK Ultra, definitely. It's the combination of both that came up with it, like, I don't know, a long time ago. At Jeremy Bury Me, do you attend wrestling shows? I should, but social anxiety and whatnot, so not really. Set up for recording vids, my webcam, the little potato cam here, and OBS for literally everything else. And, you know, although I still use GarageBand for sound because it sounds a little bit better here. I used to film in a closet, so like this is a lot better. But that's it, you know. I don't really do much. At Boone Canyon, isn't it about time you admit that Nuts Boy is the cutest in the world? I'm gonna be honest. On an absolutely perfect day, it's between Pori and Mace Ruga. At Brian Maniac asks, if there was an Academy Award for Joshi Wrestling from 2023, who would I give the best supporting and lead to? It's a fucking hell of a question. Now, I wanted to do a video on this subject for a while, but I didn't keep notes of my performances this year that I liked, so I can't really do it, but it is kind of simple, because Macy Ruga as Macy Michelle is the best supporting actor in general, I think, but she didn't, this year I'm going to give it to Tam Nakano as supporting actor in the match that Waka won because of this face, and she was great. And then the lead itself is very clearly Waka. She managed to convey years of frustration and desperation and determination with real feelings and create a very, very beautiful and moving and emotional performance, you know? So 100% Waka, lead actress. At Milwaukee. Do you think that the forced inclusion of the New Japan belts on the Stardom product derailed its momentum? No, injuries and misjudgment did. I think the New Japan strong belts are pointless though. AEW seems to agree with Kingston's title, which is why they're just like combining it for no reason. It does give Julia something to do and defend like a real championship and fight and look great in the process, but they're not necessary at all. So, at Andy Richardson, can Tam return and regain the red belt? Of course she can, but I don't think she will, though, honestly. I hope so, but I think we missed the boat on that, sadly. Do you think Saori Anou would defeat Mirai? I do think so, actually. I'm ready, honestly, but I'm biased, because I like Mirai, but I love Saori Anou. She's one of my favorites. She's a dream. What is your wrestler and cartoon character dream team? I'm sorry that it's not Joshi immediately though, but this is the first thought that came to my head. We get Roger Zemeckis in, and he does his old school Roger Rabbit film type stuff with Orange Cassidy teaming with Bugs Bunny versus Elmer Fudd and Effie. Why Effie? Because Effie is one, a SAG actor, so we got that down. And two, will lean all the way in as Elmer Fudd's partner. You know, he'll go like, oh, rabbit season. Be very, very quiet. I can't do it. I can't do that. I can't do it at all. For Joshi's, let's get Hanazono teaming with the Animaniacs in a 8-man tag match versus Hyper Masao and 90s cartoon superheroes, but the odd ones like we'll get Batman, we'll get the Tick, and Earthworm Jim. There we go. Top 5 non-traditional Christmas but technically still Christmas movies. This is a good question, actually. It's mainstream, but Nightmare Before Christmas is technically a Halloween movie, but it's also a Christmas movie too, but that's cheating a little bit. 4, Die Hard. Obviously, it's a Christmas movie. 3, Home Alone. 1 or 2, but I prefer 2. 2, Batman Returns. Bruce Wayne says Merry Christmas at the end. It's a Christmas movie. The whole thing is a Christmas movie, okay? Now, number 1, it's not a Christmas movie, but I watch it every Christmas still, and it does take place during Christmas, and there's Christmas trees used as the sole source of lighting in some scenes. It's a Christmas movie for me. Eyes Wide Shut. All-time favorite song? That is impossible to answer. I don't know anyone who can answer that question. You know, I love music just too much, more than wrestling even. The moment or match of Mayu's that determined her GOAT status. Well, I was always aware of Mayu Iwatani, you know, by word of mouth and by association with like Io and Kairi. I watched the trilogy of matches with Io and the Phenomenal, but it really set in once I completely dialed in on my philosophy of what it is that I liked about wrestling and made it set in stone. Once I did that, which Stardom helped me realize, by the way. So I just like started watching Mayu more and more, and like it just made sense. It just clicked, and it's like, oh no, Mayu, out of all the things that represent my philosophy towards wrestling, she represents the best. So she's the best actress in wrestling, and that really solidified it for me. You know, if you had a pet duck, what would you name it? Marshall Mallards or Howard or Duckworth. If I would put in a 3 versus 3 match, who would I pick to not make me die? Okay, yeah, I would pick people to carry the match so I don't have to do anything. So Big Hash and Shuri, and I'll just act like Saki Kashima. At Vicious Buddha, who do you think will be the next breakout star in Joshi Wrestling? Hi everyone, so I got me a new desk and I got me a new little setup. It's gonna look a little bit different. I just gotta play with it, get ring light, get all the lighting, look like a real YouTuber and stuff. So I thought I have a better answer to this question. It's gonna be Mia from Choco Pro Wrestling. Mia is like every single time I see her, she's just constantly improving, constantly like doing better and better. She's got a lot of spirit. She makes great faces, and when she gets angry and wants to fight, she has that fighting spirit in there. You can see that lion spirit that Stardom seems to really like, you know. She also has a lot of fun comedic timing, so she can work in TJPW if she needed to, and any other promotion. Basically, Emi Sakura has set up me for the ultimate success. She has all the tools to make it, and I think if you just keep an eye on her, she'll really surprise everybody, I think.
At Ryu Nasa. Do you have a memory of an interaction with a complete stranger that has stuck with you and that you still think about long since it happened? I saved your question for last because it's a hell of a question. That's a deep question, you know. I had to think about it for a very long time, you know, and I...
Like even now, the video's done, and this is the last question, the last thing that I'm tackling, basically. A stranger, though, who completely, like, I'll probably forever remember them, I think. It's like when my cat was dying, I needed to put him out, basically, and I was at the vet, and he was just in so much pain, and it was so bad. This woman came over and just like really helped me out, and just really kind, you know, like really brought the humanity back into humanity, you know. Like anytime I think that, like anytime I want to be cynical and stuff and think people don't care, there are people who do care, you know. And it's just like just strangers too. I don't know, it gives me real hope, and I try to think about that. This question was really hard to answer, you know. I can probably like think of more after I'm done answering this question, but thank you for that question. Really good one. It made me really ponder.
Anyways, that's the video for the day. All the questions. Thank you for everything. Thank you for sending them in. Thank you for all the support for the year, all the likes, all the subscribes. I got like 500,000 views this year, which is insane. 3,000 shares from people. That's crazy, you know. Next year, I hope to grow it bigger and bigger and do different work, and evolve the content. And also, thank you for allowing me to pop on here on a camera and do this, and not just prefer a Meerkat mask where I'm just screaming all the time. I do like the Meerkat. We'll be working on getting a better Meerkat, but in the meantime, thank you for, I don't know, just thank you. This has been a wonderful journey. Thank you. It gives me a lot of meaning. So, I don't really got much else to say other than thank you so much, and I hope you like my Who shirt because I love this thing. I found it at a thrift store. Bye.
A special thank you to all my Patreon sponsors for all your support constantly. I was able to get like this mic, this desk, slowly upgrading the channel. Eventually I'll get a ring light, I'll get lights, we'll start looking amazing on here. I don't have to rely on natural light and timing of the day. It's gonna be so great. I can finally get a pop filter, you know. But thank you to all the support for constantly. You guys are awesome. Thank you to Jeff, the Yup Channel, Geek and Noah's Dad, Anthony Agnales, Teej, Renee Valdez, Asa Trace, Maddox, Justin Stein, Matthew Blair, Chuska, Nyo, Jeff, Foop, Terrence, Dan Work, Kev Mullen, MK, Ray, Kanashige, Party Money 520, Punk Wicks Videos, Juggernaut Graphics, Shutupmingo.wave, Aaron Zacharias, 45222, I Want Victims, JLA, Julia's Sunglasses, Despair, always despair, Chihuahua, Paul Doran, Picklesimer, Scott Racer, oh, that's a Scott Racer, Steven Siemens, good luck on your film, buddy, Kavatari D, Smoon, Little Toot Toot, and my newest one, Tony Davis. Thank you so much.